Hello, everybody. This is Ellis Paul here in Crozet, Virginia. It's Wednesday night, and it's time for the Traveling Medicine Show. We're going to have a special guest, Joe Crookston, coming in. He's going to be beaming in from upstate New York. It feels like I haven't done a live stream show in a while, but it hasn't been that long. But I'm not doing as many of them nowadays because I'm touring so much. So let me know that you're there, that you're watching, and that you're hearing everything I'm saying. And in the meantime, let's add a little music to our experience here. I'm going to play Holy again, E, F, G, H. There it is. This is a song from the new album. More on that later. Glad you guys are all here. Let me know where you're from. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. Welcome to the show. Spread the word. Share it on your Facebook page. Has just taken flight. Annie Ellis. Good to see you, Annie. Cheers to you. Says it's holy. The sound of it's holy. Scarlett is here. To me. It's already 8 o'clock. Look at that. And if I could take We're going to start in just a few minutes, folks. Grab a beverage. Across the sea. His mother says Christ is complete. As I am. Don't waste your prayers on a tree. Laura Powell Price is here watching. Hi, Laura. Hope you'll stick around. It's going to be a good show tonight. Nancy Chestnut is back with us as well. Let me know where you all are from. Remind me. There's Piermont. I'm going to be in Piermont, New York on Friday night. And Karen's going to be there too at the Turning Point. Glad to hear you're coming, Karen. We'll see you soon. And there's Annie Ellis is coming as well. All right. I'm so happy. Looking forward to seeing you there. He says it's home. Cincinnati is where Nancy is. For those of you that are interested in supporting the show, there's all the info. We also have this thing up in the corner here. This is the new album. Either way, if you've already contributed to the album, thank you for that. And thank you for the support of the show tonight. Appreciate it. Mahwah, New Jersey is where our friend Eric Apgar is. Jackie is in Pittsburgh. Folks from all over the U.S. We're going to be starting in just a couple minutes. When you hear this song end, this is when we're going to begin. Nice to be sitting here with you all. At the Queenstown. I think I have everything I need. And there's Declan McLaren. Harmonicas are out in the car. On the biggest ship but that's fine. Susan Gore is here from Worcester. And Eric Apgar, Mahwah, New Jersey, as I said. Joseph Kwiatkowski. God, if I did that right, I would deserve some kind of award. Welcome on board. Glad you're here, brother. Thank you. We're just going to start in a minute. It's going to be a great show tonight with our special guest, Joe Crookston. We've got about 20 guitars and 2 microphones. We're ready to go. This is going to be a fun night. We're talking about childhood tonight. Terry Coolidge up there in Maine. Love that you're listening in from my favorite state. I'm going to be there this weekend, by the way, on Sunday night. More on that in a bit. I tell you what, let's get to the old intro. Here it is. Check this out. Hello, everybody. This is Ellis Paul. I'm in Crozet, Virginia. Tonight, you're listening to the Traveling Medicine Show. It's moved to Wednesday nights because I'm doing a bit of traveling now. For example, this weekend on Friday night, I'm going to be up in the Turning Point in Piermont, New York, one of my favorite little clubs on the American folk circuit. Going to be surrounded by a lot of friends in the audience that night, too, by the looks of things. Going to have Saturday off, but on Sunday night, I'm heading up to Stone Mountain, which is in Brownfield, Maine. It's going to be a great show with Anja Duvacot. She's coming along. Any of you that know me with any kind of depth know that Anja toured with me for several years as my opening act. And when she was starting out, and she is still one of my favorite songwriters, I think one of the best lyricists that I've ever heard. And I'm psyched to be playing a show with her and catching up because we are like family. And nice to have all of you here. I feel like you're many ways my online family as well. Lots of Karens tonight. Karen is noticing. Happy National Wine Day. I am drinking tonight wine. Let's see. Let's find out what I am drinking. I'm drinking a Malbec Fleur de Templiers. That's what is on my palate tonight. I enjoy sitting down and having a drink while I do this show. And it's nice to be able to relax while I'm playing. Yeah, this is the thing about these online shows is that they're so... I'm at my home, you know? It's pretty great that way. I can hear Laurie upstairs working on dinner while I'm down here making a little money for us and doing my job, getting paid, and, you know... That's how it works. I want to thank everybody that contributes tonight into the old tip jar. If you've already contributed to the record, thank you. If you're interested in contributing to the record, you see that 55 right there? If you haven't contributed yet to the record that's coming up, it's called 55. And let me just fix the banner here so it looks like something that you can actually use. Look how I can do this. Just snap your fingers and poof. Wow. That's cheap kind of special effects, but that's the QR code. And I want to thank Mr. Dan Tappan for putting a lot of love into the tip jar. He's already a contributor to the record, so thank you, my friend, for that. It's nice to have so many people out there who are songwriters supporting me, as Dan Tappan is, and he's one of the best that I know who attends our New England Songwriters Retreat. We got Peter Bauman here, right next to the Circle of Friends Coffee House in Franklin, Mass. He's there. Leanie is here with David, I'm sure, from up in the Berkshires. I got your phone call. I've been meaning to get a hold of you. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'll let you know. Charlotte is out there in Oklahoma. And, yeah, and we have people that are drinking wine as well. Wine here with Nancy Chestnut, so cheers to you, Nancy. Tonight, our special guest is Mr. Joe Crookston. He is an amazing songwriter, and he's been a friend of mine. He's kind of like a brother that I haven't gotten to know quite yet. We have a lot in common, and his passion for music is really deep, and he's such a great songwriter, and he's going to be our special guest tonight. Let me show you what our banner looks like for him. So you can take a look at what the show is. There we go. Here we go. Ellis Paul's Traveling Medicine Show. Gosh, I got to take that little hooky thing out there. I probably need somebody to be pushing these buttons myself and putting little X and commas and whatnot on all these promotional memes. Ellis Paul's Traveling Medicine Show. No apostrophe in there, but you can imagine that I own it. With special guest Joe Crookston, still a kid after all these years. That's our theme. We're going to be talking about childhood. Susan Gore, I want to thank you for the love in the tip jar tonight. I appreciate it. We're going to be talking about childhood, trying to maintain the innocence. It's a hard week to be talking about that as a theme. When Joe and I talked about this theme, there hadn't been a school shooting, and it's just it's a challenging time for anyone with a heart right now, and We're going to be singing songs about youth and the importance of maintaining a sense of innocence and joy and hopefulness, as children do, without being corrupted by adulthood, by what's going on outside, the pandemic, war, genocide, all those words that sound poisonous. Hard, isn't it? What do you guys do? Let me know in the comments section. And meanwhile, I just want you guys to know that Jackie is holding up some Chardonnay tonight with us, and Don and Jean are also here. Don actually distributes the wine, and that's cool. That's a good job. You like that? I'm going to take Grace out to do this one. Yesterday was Bob Dylan's birthday, and I thought, in the event that we were going to do this as a theme, I ought to try doing this song. So we're going to try it. Let's see how it goes. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. And may you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. And may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. Forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful, and may your song always be sung, and may you stay. Forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. Bob Dylan, who must be, gosh, how old is old Bob? He must be like 80 years old by now. He's just going to be forever old from here on out. But one of the most prolific songwriters, he wrote Blow in the Window when he was like 21. bastard. For those of you who are just joining us, my name is Ellis Paul, and I brought the toys to this particular show because I thought I should keep them handy to remind myself of my own youth and the things that I love about curiosity and wonder. Like, how does this happen? Someone made this for me. It's beautiful. A little marble in a glass ball. It's endless. The universe is endless. Today was my 18-year-old, about to turn 18-year-old daughter's last day of high school. And she was struggling with a test, and it didn't go well, and she came out in tears, and I'm like, let's celebrate what happened over 4 years, not ruminate on what happened in the last couple hours. So we went out and got Ben and Jerry's, and we spent, $20 on ice cream between her sister, and I. I believe I had cookie dough and strawberry. Ella had chocolate, fudge, and cookie dough. I can't remember what Sophie had, but when you can't, when you're having a hard day, a little ice cream will at least temporarily bring some light into your day. And I was thinking, gosh, my daughter, she's going to turn 18 sometime in July, and July 5th. And to end high school with tears is not good. So I hopefully pulled up her mood a little bit, and she's going to be fine. But God, I wouldn't want to go back then, would you? I mean, I had a pretty decent high school 4 years, and a lot happened to me in high school that I'm grateful for, but I wouldn't want to go back. Got a song for you. It's called 18. And it's about that very thing. Before we go, I just want to mention this, Karen duly noted. My mom was born she's 85, and she was born in an era, she never got into, Dylan kind of created this, he kind of single-handedly created the 60s. Maybe that's too much, but he was significantly important to that decade and the change in music that came. And my mother and father were stuck in 1950, 55. My mom was born in 37. My dad was born in 33, 34. So they would have been, in 64, my dad would have been 30. And still in love with Frank Sinatra. This is called 18. It was a summer night. I took off in my old man's car, rolled the windows right on down, cranked up the radio, chased a meteor on a dirt road out of town. Tonight there's a bonfire in Walker's Field. Tonight, in the firelight, our dreams reveal. Tonight, you can chase away your high school years. Shadows dancing wildly at the scene. But I never knew right then just what it means to be 18. face of Jimmy Aberdeen still washes over me. He had a laugh like a thundercloud. He's holding blue spray paint. Now Jimmy ain't no saint, but he could always draw the crowd. That night we climbed the water tower in Walker's Field. That night in the firelight our dreams revealed. That night Jimmy fell down through the darkness. An ambulance brought silence to the scene. All the broken dreams. Jimmy Aberdeen. Now 10 years have passed. The cabbie taps the glass. We're outside my reunion hall. He leaves me to the night. I can count the satellites, and I see the tower looming tall. I'm taking on my memories. Tonight I climb the water tower for all to see. Tonight I painted steel with cobalt blue, spelling out my graduation year. Above the highway that took me out of here. And I finally think that I really know what it means to be 18. 18. 18, y'all. Do you remember that? Being 18? What was the thing that you did that you were when you were 18 that still is with you now? What is that thing? Tell you what mine is. It's art. I'm still drawing and still doing art like I loved in high school. I'm not a lot better than I was in high school. In fact, I don't think I'm any better than I was in high school. I could use some lessons, but this is one of the pieces that I've done. This is one of my lyric sheets. If you join the fundraiser, the album fundraiser, and I'll put that banner back up there if I can, you can choose the song that you want lyrics to. It doesn't have to be on the album. You can choose whatever song you wish, and I'll do something like this for you. That's just one of the many perks on the album. There's a bunch of other things that you can get. Like even I could write a custom song for you at the very upper ends of the fundraiser. I can come and do a house concert in your living room at the upper ends of the fundraiser. I can write a custom song and record a custom song for you as part of the fundraising campaign. And you can come in and spend a day in the studio with me. also at the very top end of this. So lots of stuff there that you could do if you wanted to jump on board and get involved. I know you guys have done a lot for me, and I appreciate you all. It's been an interesting 2.5 years, and I managed to build a career online that I want to keep going, and including this show, which is sort of the highlight of the week's live streams. I'd like to turn this thing into a podcast and make it a lot more serious, but I'm going to have to hire somebody to do that, and I got a kid going to college, and the potential is endless. I'm sort of like the Carrot Top of folk singers. I've got all these props. Jeez Louise, these are cool. I love doing these live stream shows because I get to visit with friends in public, which is kind of a cool thing to do. And, you know, I haven't seen these guys in a long time. Like some of them I haven't seen for 4 years, 5 years, and I get to bring them in and just catch up with them. And a lot of the conversation is spontaneous, and, you know, I never know what the hell I'm going to ask them until I get them side by side. But today, it's a very, very special. One of my favorite people to talk to because he's so open-hearted and honest and direct and eloquent when he speaks. Mr. Joe Crookston is our special guest. He's going to be coming in about 10 minutes. And our theme tonight is still a kid after all these years. If any of you have ever been in one of my classes, you've heard me talk about believability. And there's something about a kid's sheer honesty and joy and even pain that makes it, when they're writing and doing creative things, they just are so much more compelling because of, you know, they're being honest. And oftentimes you can sit a 14-year-old songwriter next to somebody who's my age, who's got craft and a couple hits under their belt about pickup trucks and, you know, Daisy Duke jeans and drinking at the river. You know, those songwriters, and there's a lot of them, and some of them have written great songs outside of those songs, you know. Like, you know, the guy that wrote Achy Breaky Heart also has some masterpieces. You can't judge him by that one song, even though it's like the only song you know probably on a daily basis that you've been, you know, exposed to. He's also got others that are heartfelt. But the thing is, like, do you even try and write those songs once? If you have children to feed, you do, because that's how you survive. But I'd rather hear a 14-year-old being honest and singing out right out of her diary, or his diary, without craft, tools, manipulation, than I would a professional songwriter who's just trying to write for the money and the hit. And that's, you know, the secret of what I try to do is just capture things that I love, that are important to me, and have that childlike joy, innocence, humor, laughter. You know, that's the secret of my success. Eric Apgar says, The Kid by Buddy Mondlock. That's a great idea. Maybe let's do that. All right, let's see if I can find it in here. In my book, covers, The Kid, K. God, if it's in here, that's such a great idea. Of course it's not The Kid, there it is. Oh. All right. Thank you, Eric, for that. Here's another song. Let's see. This song's called The Kid, written by Buddy Mondlock, friend of mine. Been recorded by David Wilcox, Cry, 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 Peter, Paul, and Mary. I'm the kid who ran away with the circus. Now I am watering elephants, but I sometimes lie awake in the sawdust, dreaming that I'm in a suit of lights. Late at night in the empty big top, I'm all alone on the high wire. Look, he's working without a net this time. He's reeled at the fire. I'm the kid who always looked out the window, failing the test in geography. But I have seen things far beyond the schoolyard, distant shores of exotic lands. There's the spires of the Turkish Empire. 6 months since we made landfall, riding low with the spires of India, through Gibraltar where red man. I'm the kid who thought we'd one day be lovers, always held out that time would tell. Time was talking. Guess I just wasn't listening. No surprise if you know me well. As we're walking through towards the train station, there's a whisper and rainfall. Across the boulevard, you slip your hand in mine. In the distance, the train calls. I'm the kid who has this habit of dreaming. Sometimes gets me in trouble too. But the truth is, I can no more stop dreaming than I could make them all come true. It's a song called The Kid by Buddy Mondlock. Buddy's going to be my special guest at the New England Songwriters Retreat, along with, get this, all sorts of folks. Susan Warner, Katie Curtis, Don Conoscenier, all teachers, and a special surprise guest that we're going to announce next week as a teacher. I don't want to do a spoiler, but we got someone else coming who many of you know. It's already sold out, but get on the waiting list because I expect because of COVID we'll have cancellations. And Joe, I hope you're ready. I don't see that your camera is set up yet, but let me know that you are by turning that camera on, would you? And I'm going to just say one more time, our special guest tonight is Mr. Joe Crookston. He's a songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. He plays everything beautifully well, like mandolin, violin, all the ends he's in. Guitar, electric guitar. You're going to see a lot of that. Still not seeing your camera ready, Joe. But in the meantime, oh, there he is. Okay, good. He's all set to go. I'm going to just put this on to make life easier on my end. All the way from somewhere in upstate New York, I think near Ithaca, but we'll make sure we ask him. This is Mr. Joe Crookston. Hello, brother. How are you?
Hey, good, Ellis. It's so nice to hear you. That song, "The Kid," that's one of the ones that got that is the one of the songs that just got me into songwriting in a way that, it's a deep, beautiful song, right? David Wilcox's version.
Oh yeah,
that's pulled me into that was me, and I want to be that, and I want to write that.
Yeah, and it's so good. Just absolutely so good. Yeah. I got to know David, and who became a great friend of mine, and then through David's music, eventually met Buddy. And have you ever met Buddy?
Yeah, down at Kerrville.
Yeah, it's just he's such a great songwriter. But that song, it's one of those seminal songs of American folk music from the last 30 years or so. It's that kind of landmarky.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's something, I've done a lot of workshops, a lot of conferences where where it's sort of human relations laboratories, where one of the things we do is when you were singing 18, I was thinking about this, going back to your 11-year-old, 12-year-old self, and what was called a self-sighting. Like you were talking about, I painted. You were an artist, even from a young age. You're still there. That's still part of who you are. And I think about self-sightings. When you go back to 11-year-old Joe or 11-year-old Ellis, what was that essence that you were drawn to? And that's still a part of us. And I think that the song "The Kid," that's crazy you played it, because that song just takes me right back to that, looking out the window, dreaming. Yeah. And just being I felt different. I felt like I had some dreams that were different than my, guy friends or whatever. And self-sightings, I think who we were when we were 10 and 11 is who we really were, or that's who we really are, And then we lose it. Then it goes away. Then we're we try to be cool and hip, and we try to undo ourselves,
Yeah. I mean, was there a point when you were a kid where you kind of knew you were going to be an artist? Because I had those moments as a kid, and then I kind of denied them, and then they kind of fought their way through college and all the things, and just said, "Hey, this is really who you are." Did you have one of those moments?
The way you just said that is so true to me. I think when I was 9 years old, 10 years, 11, 12, I would be up in my room making sculptures out of plaster Paris and painting, and I was so into that. And it wasn't this gross or something, but I felt like I was always kind of made fun of, Joe's the sensitive kid, and he does these goofy things, and so there was a certain, I don't know, I'm not putting this on you, but what you said is you kind of let go of it, really kind of just dissociated from it for a while and then came back to it. I did the same thing. I think I felt ashamed that I felt so sensitive and so much like an artist. And I wasn't in an environment that was great, that's amazing. It was more I had shame about it. And then I had to earn it, come back to it and be no, that is who I am,
Yeah, because it actually feels like a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And then It's like people want to lay kryptonite around it and throw shame on it or doubt on it. And then you realize later in life that, this actually kind of is a superpower. Like, this gives me access to myself and to other people in a way that I couldn't get in any other format.
Completely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and even like, and then just say like, two guys, who are mature and growing and getting older and all of that, like the idea of being ashamed of that sensitivity and that sort of perceptiveness. And that, for me, I would say that happened. It was like I was around the guys who were like, so I kind of wanted to fit in. I felt a bit ashamed of that sensitivity. And I've learned over years to really see it as a superpower and my beauty and my way of, connecting to myself and others. And I think I've come a long way with being like, hell no, man. Like, we have a superpower and a gift, and to own that and to not be ashamed of it as a man too,
Yeah, there's the male thing of like having it shut down by other males and wanting to share testosterone moments with those people and thinking that that's important.
I have these images of me, like I would be like mowing grass, for like a landscaping company or something like that. I'd be in like a truck with like the driver and then some other dude and then me, like, and I would have queued up on my little cassette thing would be like Cheryl Wheeler songs and like, and I would be
playing
like
Arrow.
Playing Arrow. Yeah. It was Arrow. It was actually that song. It was like the most beautiful, heart-wrenching song that Cheryl Wheeler ever wrote. And I would go to to meet the guys at the parking lot where we got in the truck, and I would be listening to Arrow, like crying and like feeling my feelings. But then as soon as I get in the truck, like I'd be all like, oh yeah, I was just trying to like fit in and like, now I don't do that as much. But
hey, next time we get together, this is what I want to do with you. I want to throw a football in your backyard back and forth for like an hour and then co-write a song. So we'll get like the best of both worlds. We'll get the sensitivity and the knucklehead.
Yeah. As long as we could, knucklehead, little baseball, little football. And
we'll talk about the song. Hey man, how about we sing a song about this?
We'll write the song over the catch.
Yeah, and then we'll go in and we'll formulate all the chords. All right, that's a plan. Hey, why don't you do a couple songs for us so I can share some of your brilliance with these folks. Everybody, this is Mr. Joe Crookston, and thank you so much for being here, Joe. And everybody, I'll put up his tip jar in a second. Enjoy him.
Thank you. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful, a miracle. Oh, it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, they'd be singing so happily, joyfully, playfully, watching me. Then they send me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, responsible, practical. And then they show me a world where we could be so dependable, clinical, intellectual, cynical. There are times when all the world's asleep and the questions run too deep for such a simple man. Won't you please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd. please tell me who I am, who I am. Now watch what you say, or they'll be calling you a radical, a liberal, fanatical criminal. Won't you sign up your name? We'd like to feel you're acceptable, presentable, respectable, a vegetable. There are times when all the world's asleep and the questions run too deep for such a simple child. Won't you please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. There are times when all the world's asleep and the questions run too deep for such a simple child. Won't you please tell me what we learned? I know it sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. I've forgotten who I am. I've forgotten who I am. I love that song, Supertramp song. Just sometimes I play shows, and it's not been very many shows lately, but I miss it, and I'm going to get back out there and tour and play. But sometimes I'm playing, and there's a little kid, maybe a 6-year-old girl or a 4-year-old boy, who's up by the stage, and they're wiggling around and dancing. And there is completely no shame and no self-consciousness. And there's this absolute sense that, like, they're just free. They're not feeling judged. They just are in the moment. And then there's this point where they transition into, like, teens or maybe young kid where they become self-conscious. And I'm always aware of watching that moment and that idea of, I love that childlike freedom to be and express and not judge yourself. And I would say, Ellis, that for me, maybe lately, I've been really trying to get back or really tap into that place of myself, of like dancing in the front of the stage and not give a shit what anybody thinks and just feel free, you know? Because what else do we have, you know? I'm going to play you this song called Look for Trouble. All right, here we go. Speaking of that, I know on your Hero record, right, Ellis, you have a song about Georgia O'Keeffe. And And I have a recording, my 2014 one is called Georgia, I'm Here. And although I don't reference Georgia O'Keeffe exactly in there, that's the Georgia in Georgia, I'm Here is her. And she has a quote that I love, which is, the parts of ourselves that we are the most self-conscious of are the parts of ourselves that are the most true and authentic. And the reason why we're all self-conscious is because other people don't necessarily do that. They're unique to us. And I've always loved that idea of what's the part of me that I actually am kind of self-conscious of. That might be the most true part of myself. And just own it. I could find a beautiful thing and then look for trouble. I could find a beautiful thing and then look for trouble. I could find an honest heart and then say it isn't true. Or I could look for love and give it to you. Or I could look for love and give it to you. I could look for everything that I have and see what is missing. And I can look at everything I have and just see what is missing. And I could let my mind play tricks, never see what is true. And I could look for love and give it to you. Or I could look for love and give it to you. I could find a gemstone and cover it up with mud. Open the door when a friend turns up, only to turn him down. And I could dim the golden light and live alone in blue. I could look for love and give it to you. Or I could look for love and give it to you. Or I could look for love and give it to you. I could find a beautiful thing and then look for trouble. I could find a beautiful thing and then look for trouble. I could find a beautiful thing and then look for trouble.
Beautiful song, man. Thank you so much for that. So many great lines in it, and isn't that what we all do in a way? We just we try and ruin what we have by by finding the weak spots. We're always looking. You know how in The Hobbit they were looking for the dragon's little point, that little weak spot where they could bring the whole thing down.
Yes, exactly. And that's like a survival. I've been learning about that, like this idea that it's actually this sort of evolutionary survival, like it's part of our brain, like brain science, that we are looking for the danger, And I've been trying, I've literally, I'm going to say this, it sounds crazy, but I've been making these mantras, right, on my iPhone. And I've been doing a bunch of recording here at home. I'm not, I'm not like a total pro, engineer, but I've gotten pretty good. And I record these mantras, and I've been super into neuroplasticity and the idea that we can change our neurological map based on what we put in, what we feed ourselves. So I'm making these mantras, which are maybe 20-minute longs. They'll say like, Joe, you are safe. You have unconditional love, like I'll repeat these things over and over and over for 20 minutes, and I'll put a little bit of music under them.
Yeah.
And then I just at night, I just press play, and that's what I fall asleep to, just to kind of reprogram this idea that like, it's okay. Like, yeah, the world is crazy out there. Right.
Yeah.
And yet if I can not be hooked into it, then I can bring something a little different, a little more like you do. I mean, you do that so well. You're aware of everything going on. You're not Pollyanna about the world. You're not trying to be like positivity, toxic positivity or something, but you do bring music, you bring magic, despite the facts, despite it all. So I'm trying to reprogram my brain to really not have that sort of survival looking for trouble, so.
Yeah, and I do. It's not like I don't fight those urges, but a lifetime of work, right? Trying to find ways to like hold those things at bay and not let them enter in. But I do it all the time. I do it, and then like I'll be talking to somebody. I'm like, wow, you just laid some negative shit on that person, and there's no need for it, and you just allowed your angst, whatever angst you were carrying, to be part of that person's experience of you, when you don't really even want that to be what they walk away with.
Yeah.
So occasionally it happens to me, but I have to tell you before we move away from this, that Supertramp song was absolutely stunning. Have you played that out before? Mm-hmm. I mean,
I recorded it, and it's kind of been one of my, how we have certain covers that are for me, they're, really staples, like that song deeply connects with my belief and my sort of like children and not just children, but our loss of our essence as we grow up because of everything. And even how school and how culture and society teaches us to undo that. So I'm kind of like, no, that I think maybe I'm very in touch with that right now. And when we were texting and talking about doing the show, I was like, let's do something where we revert back to our. Yeah. Speaking of which, I brought some props too.
Oh, so here's a little. Don't think people aren't noticing the grand sock monkey back there.
Oh no, they saw it back there. Okay, neuroplasticity, and this is Thelonious Monkey.
Yeah.
And Thelonious Monkey has been with me for many years, and but the idea of kid, okay. And I'm gonna talk about this because you had props, so I'm gonna bring props.
Yeah. Show me what you got.
I do a lot of school residencies where I go into schools and I teach and I do art and painting and songwriting and lots of different,
cool
printmaking. You do a fair amount, and so I'm going up to Rochester to do a residency for 3 days, and they chose the theme. The theme was happiness. And I think it was like, it's been a hard couple years and these kids need something kind of fun. And, so I was like, oh man, I've never been that big of a fan of happiness. I've always, joy, but like happy comes and goes. So I started digging into it and thinking about it. And then I thought about like the feelings wheel, right? How like when you look at like, how do you feel? And there's like angry, sad, and whatever, like there's 3 emotions, but there's all these emotions. So I went to the reuse store today and I bought 80 vinyl records that were like just totally not in the sleeves, just like shitty, scratched up, And then what I decided I'm going to do, I'm making feelings wheels.
Oh, cool.
And so see a little key right here.
Yeah. And you spin it.
And then you take the vinyl and we're going to sand it and then we're going to paint it with the kids, 80 of them, 80 kids.
Yeah.
And then I have all these keys that I've collected over the years. And then you can turn the key to sort of match the like, so let's say I feel.
What a great idea, man.
Creative. I'm going to turn the key and there you go. So then we're going to write some songs about, so what I thought about, instead of just being happy, I thought, well, let's get in touch with emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And the truth of it is, this is what I'm doing in my life. So I thought, how can I make this residency be therapy for me?
I need one of those.
I'll send you one. But, then there's the back of it, which is the old vinyl. And then on the back, we'll write.
It should be a Supertramp vinyl record with the logical song on it.
That's exactly right.
Man, you totally opened my mind at how brilliant those lyrics are. I was so, I liked the song as a kid, but I like the production and the singing so much. I almost didn't listen to what it was actually saying.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful thing about stripping things down it's the essence in having a folk singer pitch a song occasionally with it was so profound to hear you do it, and your arrangement on it was gorgeous, and all the tension and release within your playing. Just absolutely beautiful work on that, Joe.
Thanks. It is. I really appreciate what you're saying. It's like the idea that like, you've heard that song and all the production, and it's like, it's some song about something, and I was done, but you don't really connect with like the actual spirit of that is this loss of essence, this loss of child, like who we really are gets trained and taught out of us, and that's that's reading the lyrics. It's when I read the lyrics, I was like, oh, I want to cover this song.
And the production itself becomes dated. So you sort of ignore the song because, that's so 80s that I can't even go back there. Or was it 70s even?
It was 79.
79, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the song itself, the melody, the lyric, chord changes, absolutely brilliant, and makes me want to go back and listen to the Supertramp records again.
Yeah,
and see what
it's
else
Breakfast in America. It's 1979.
Oh, what a great album that was!
Right?
Yeah.
So that song I always get like, I like playing that song. It's it's how we have these ones that we play a lot that kind of remind us, or kind of our little mantras that we say over and over, and then finally we believe them.
Yeah. It's funny you should. When my first marriage broke up, I created a mantra that I walked around Boston with at night. I went back to Boston, stayed with a friend, and then I would every night at around 10 o'clock I would go walk for 3 hours, and I would walk like sometimes 10 miles just through Boston, just reminding myself with this mantra and creating it.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah. And it helps, right? Because I think there is something about the neural transmission of ideas and chemistry that, and we train ourselves with negative thoughts, and those mantras have a way of reshaping the neural highway with gold instead of blacktop. And
I love that.
We got to keep on that. I love the idea of what you're doing with that song and what the message says and all of it. Yeah. Well, let me leave you for a couple more songs. We'll see in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'll just say before you log off there, that I'll play a couple songs here, and they're both. It's so interesting. You said the gold, the gold and the asphalt. This was my gold set. So we didn't. This is not planned, folks. Yeah. This man is magic, and. This song is called. I really debated whether I wanted to play this tonight, and because it's brand new, and also it's just very personal. And then this is called Golden Boy, and then the second song is called We Are Turning Golden.
Oh, no shit.
The
Wow.
golden set.
Just like that. Look at that.
Thank you.
All right. Have at it, brother.
Yeah. I was the golden boy. I was played like a little toy. All the anguish that my mother had, she taught me how to hate my dad. And I was the golden boy. And I was the chosen kid. I filled her void and I stood in the place where my father stood, pleasing her and always good. I was the chosen kid. And now I see what was taken from me. I didn't know it at the time. Now I see what was taken from me, and I am free. I am free now. I was the special one, closer in than anyone, hollowed out by her own hands, and I grew ashamed to be a man, and I was the special one, and I tried to be your safest place, putting joy on her twisted face. And I tried for years, but I never did. And that's a lot to ask of a little kid. I tried to be her safest place. And now I see what was taken from me. I didn't know it at the time. Now I see what was taken from me, and I am free. I am free now. I am free. And a lot of times what I would say is over the last years, I've written a lot of songs that were story songs. And the story songs were, I had a thing of never wanting to be a self-absorbed songwriter. I don't know, Ellis, if you know that idea of like, oh, this, you know, I'm out there singing all of my stuff, and being self-absorbed was always something I avoided at all costs. And what I did a lot was I wrote a lot of songs about other people, history, women in World War I, songs about, slaves and, that kind of thing. So I was really focused on telling the personal stories of other people. And I realized more recently, in the last few years, that I think that it was time for me to sing and write my own goddamn story. And so I've been doing that more. I've been taking the chance and the freedom or the bravery or whatever it is to tell my own story. And that's been feeling really good and scary at the same time. So that last song is definitely not, it's brand new. And it's my own story. It's not telling other people's stories. So I've been feeling the healing of that. Mary Gaucher has that great book right now about the songwriting, sort of the healing trauma through songwriting. And I think I'm experiencing that. And I'm really loving the idea of songwriting being therapeutic, not self-absorbed. I want to get it nice. There it is. Jeffrey was a visioner and the baker of the bread, high as the moon, hanging overhead, and we'd eat crickets in the mountains by the Cascade Riverbed. And now everything has changed. Jeffrey is dead, and look at how the time has gone. Look at how the time, look at how the time has gone, and we are turning golden. Maria was the sunrise, a Midwestern heart of gold, giving shelter and warmth from the Minnesota cold. And we broke apart in the winter, so I traveled to the coast, and now everything has changed. Maria's just a ghost, and look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time, look at how the time is gone, and we are turning golden. Jackson was a Cherokee with a long winding braid and that Volkswagen grease, that cello that he made. And we drive through the goldenrod like the witch of the Westmoreland. Genevieve was the muddy girl climbing up and down the tree in that awkward family portrait with the velvet on her sleeves, and she was hiding and pretending, and over time and by degree. And now everything is changed, and Jaden is free. Look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time, look at how the time is gone, and we are turning golden. And I was just a driver from Cleveland to LaSalle, making lines across America like the crack in the Liberty Bell. And I'd show up with my fingers and I'd give my heart away, and now everything is different now. Everything has changed. everything has changed. Look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time. Look at how the time is gone, and we are turning. Look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time. Look at how the time is gone, and we are turning golden.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. I'm all for the songs that are intimately about who you are and what you've been through. And I think, I just was talking about this because somebody asked me just this weekend, like at some songwriter gathering, can you write about anything? Is anything too much? And I told them, well, a lot of it depends upon the context that the song's going to be heard in. But the main thing, if you want to be able to bring it on stage for people, is they have to see themselves or somebody they know in the song. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the more personal you are, the more it feels universal hearing it. So when you were playing, the Golden Boy, Golden Kid, the first song, I was thinking that, I had that same experience in some way, probably for different reasons, but with my parents. Yeah. And so I saw myself in your story. And that way it became mine. And the theme of it is, parental relationships. That's the universal theme for whatever good or bad thing that is, that all that joy and frustration of not being able to choose who our parents are. But I think I think you're striking a vein in a gold mine, really. I really feel like that's going to be a new kind of writing for you if you continue on this train, and it's going to be a little more Mary Gauthier, as you said, but I think I think there's something to be said for her lifeline songs. They can pull people out of any place and give them an out or an escape, and
and a being seen and like, oh, I'm not alone. And and also I really, you're a great performer, and I am too. I feel like I love a good show. I love people to come and feel the ups and the valleys and the all of that. So for me, it might be that I'm maybe the latest ones are very much in that vein. But what's interesting to me is to craft a show that like touches on all the laughter and the human, the hilarious, and the guttural just intensity, and then the really emotional. Like, so for me, that's important, like for people to come to a concert when I get back out there more, and that it isn't like, whoa, but that there's this ride that we go on that is like, yes, thank you for helping me, or thank you for us being human tonight, so
designing it so it's sort of a ecstasy trip. It brings you to like this sort of holy place without being religious. Just and it's not easy to be there either. It's just honest and sacred in a way. I think that's the trip that you're on, man. I think it's sounding so sweet. Really, I can't wait to see you perform it live, because I love, as I was saying, I love your performance of any song is great, but this super personal stuff, I think, is super powerful. It's and vulnerable.
I know,
and risky.
I was like, am I going to do that? Is Ellis Paul? He'll never invite me back if I play that shit.
Oh no, you can't. This is the.
But I was like, don't care. I need to go. I need to be. Like that. It's the Georgia O'Keeffe. It's the owning the kind of, this is really authentically where I'm at, and not to shy away from it for whatever reasons of your supposed to do this or that. Nope, I'm going to just be right there. And
and
I know you want that, and that is who you are as well. So
at times, like I know I drift out of it. Right. I don't live in that space because I don't know that I can.
Yeah.
But when I do, I know I'm producing my most authentic material.
Yeah. I like what you're saying. And when you're not in that space, it's authentic not to be. Like, it's like there's other things, Right. Absolutely. That's where I'm kind of like, I'm in a little bit of a hole in terms of the, personal stuff. And yet I'm going to be out of this hole, and I'm going to reflect on that hole, but there's lots of other stories.
Right. You're just in a part of the well that is rich with heartache and it's somewhat like painful to live in, but that's where it's going to be most healing to the people that hear them from the outside. So you don't want to be in that part of the well your entire life, but you're going to write 1,000 songs.
We're going to play football and baseball. Like that's
exactly. We'll play catch and we'll figure it out. All right, man. Do one more for me.
I know we maybe have mentioned this, but the idea of I think we were at Mariposa on stage together, and you had maybe just written or recently written I'm not Jesus. What is it? I'm no Jesus. I ain't no Jesus.
I ain't no Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a moment for me where I think I like twisted I pulled my neck muscle. I was like, what just happened next to me? What just happened?
That's great.
It was a great moment because it was just such a profound, how like when we know each other, but through this and through that, but then we're like, wow, I just witnessed a thing that just changed my perception of what writing can be,
And you and I we pass each other like, typically like ships in the night, but I love these moments because not only do we get to hang in public, but we also get to hang before the show and just catch up with one another and to hear your new material and be moved by what you're doing as a creator, but also loving who you are as a person. And it's just this show has been so great, especially during the pandemic, for me to connect with people that I really respect and care about. And you're certainly one of them. Would you do one more for us?
Yeah, I'll do one more. And I'll do one more. And this would be a typical moment where I'm going to end with something upbeat and fun, but I'm not. I'm going to play this newer song. It's probably the newest song I've written, and it's I do a lot of painting, and I had this painting commission that I had that I spent about 2 months working on. And about halfway through the painting, I just was not finding it. I was not connecting with it. I was like getting a little stressed. I'm like, so I just sat and I wrote a song about the painting, and that helped me get back into the painting. So it's called Dapple the Light. Everything is okay. Put the brush and the color on the canvas tonight. Just breathe and let go. And dapple the light, dapple the light, dapple the light. Everything is okay. It's time now to rest, knowing that I gave it my best. I gave it my best. Scatter light on the field and the shade that is thrown. No need to remind me, 'cause I already know. Scatter light on the field and the shade that is thrown. No need to remind me, 'cause I'm already home. I'm already home. Mix blue into yellow and watch it turn green, coloring the hills and the valleys between, the valleys between, the valleys between. And all the pushing and striving, and now it is done. Just swirl the gold and allow for the sun, allow for the sun. Scatter light on the field and the shade that is thrown. No need to remind me, 'cause I already know. Scatter light on the field and the shade that is thrown. No need to remind me, 'cause I'm already home. I'm already home. Put the brush and the color on the canvas tonight. Just breathe and let go, and dapple the light, and dapple the light, and dapple the light, and dapple the light.
Wow, man. Breathtaking.
So,
Absolutely beautiful.
thank you.
Hey, man, I could just listen to you string these things back to back, just voice and guitar in a single recording.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they're that powerful and that beautiful just with you alone.
Yeah.
I know, the temptation is to dress them up and make them gorgeous, but there's something vulnerable about you just sitting here playing like this that's totally, oddly powerful and captivating and personal,
Yeah. I think thank you. Thank you. I think that there's a line in that song I just sang, just swirl the gold and allow for the sun. And I think the word allow has been a thing for me. I've oftentimes pushed all the pushing and striving. It's like I kind of like, oh, I want to give my thing, and I'm just learning to allow it out. And I think, that's, I don't know if that's a response to what you just said, but
that's a lesson back.
That. I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm working on it. Like, just trust it, let it out, and don't push it out so hard,
Yeah, maybe I'm seeing what I need to do as a reflection of what you're saying. It's good, really good.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, so good to hang out with you, man. You've become like my favorite guest on this because you're so open-hearted and the songs are so beautiful, and your willingness to just let the conversation drift and not into cliches, but into tangents that are meaningful and important for people to hear. It's just it's always really, really great to have you on the show. And I want to do it as often as I can without driving you crazy.
And it's it's mutual right back at you. It's kind of like, oh, we're playing jazz here in conversation.
Yeah.
And we both like to play jazz conversationally and musically, whatever. So it's very easy, so thanks.
Yeah. And thank you all for listening to Joe. Please take care of him in the old tip jar. Joe, I'll circle back just to say good night and all. And thanks so much for being on the show.
Good night, everyone. It's really great. Thank you, Ellis, for having me, and just everybody tuning in. Just thanks for listening and also supporting Ellis Paul. He's an amazing human being and all the art that he puts out there. And thank you for supporting us doing what we're doing. Yeah.
All right. Cheers, brother. That was Mr. Joe Crookston, and I just love having him on the show because he's so honest about wherever he is and whatever his songs are providing him in the moment. And we we often do this in a vacuum, and this is one thing I love about this show, because I get to hang out with other songwriters, and these people are people whose thought process and emotional, thinking is of great value to my own life, and how it applies to things I'm going through, not only as a songwriter but as just a person. And Joe and I have tons of things in common. We both have girls, and I think he's got one daughter, and I've got two, but they're both heading off to college, and there's the pull of that drama, of losing them to some other place and some other stage in their lives, and then just trying to make a fucking living as a songwriter, which is, in the time of an epidemic, and where, I'm here just doing this thing that I do weekly and trying to make it work. And grateful for you guys, but it's just challenging to juggle all these balls and make a go of it. So we love you guys for being here, and I don't know who the guest is next week. I've got an idea of who it will be, but haven't heard back yet. And thank you for tuning in. I'm just going to do a couple more things here. This is another song about aging, one of the best ever written. Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar, fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Now the boy has moved 10 years through the seasons, skated across 10 clear frozen streams. They tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, before you drag your feet to slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. And the years roll by, and soon the boy is 20, and his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true. But There'll be more dreams, better dreams and plenty, before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captured on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle game. All right, guys, that was another travel and medicine show. I've got shows on Friday and Saturday night coming up, so I'm not going to be doing any more live stream shows, even up for the Patreon audience. But next week, I have a strip of days where there'll be 10 days, and I plan on doing as many live streams as humanly possible, which probably will be 3 or 4 a week. So keep an eye out for that. And sending love to you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Be on the lookout for our special guest next week. It's going to be a surprise. And don't forget to remain amazed by little miracles that you see. Wish that wasn't there. There we go. There's no way to win. Cheers, y'all. I love you. Bye.